Hey guys, $35 game. It is a kind of a economy building type game where you do economy management of a kind of a like farms and industries and those kinds of things. So almost like Cities Skylines or something like that, basically, but it's more like industry based and economy based. So today we are going to be playing the game for an hour or so until I am satisfied that I can give you my opinion on the game. Sometimes that might take just 30 minutes, and other times I might be playing the game for a lot more than 30 minutes. I'm basically just going to play the game until I am satisfied that I can give you my opinion on the game. If you are in a hurry and you don't want to watch the full video, then you can simply skip to the last 10 minutes or so of the video. I will put a timestamp in the description below, and you can just skip to that timestamp if you only want to hear my quick, concise, final opinion on the game and whether or not I can recommend the game today. But if you're not in such a hurry, you can just stay tuned, and I will be just playing through the game, giving you my running commentary as I play through the game, and I'll be telling you what I think is good and bad about the game as well. So yeah, I'm live streaming right now, but obviously all of those things that I just said apply if you are watching the VOD afterwards. So yeah, like I actually got a key for this game about 2 months ago, to be honest. But I just haven't gotten around to actually trying the game. The developers were nice enough to send me a key for the game before the game was even released on Steam. But sometimes I look at the screenshots of a game and look at the gameplay of a game on Steam, and just really, if a game doesn't like kind of catch my eye, if it doesn't look super interesting, anything like that, then I honestly wouldn't rush to play the game, you know. So this is one of the games that I've had for 2 months, but I'm only getting around to doing a review of the game now, you know. But anyway, I do enjoy uh, economy management type games like Anno. I've said this before. I do enjoy Anno and a couple of other games similar to Anno. Um, but yeah, we will see if this game can get my recommendation today. So, the first thing that I noticed when I started up the game is the fact that it was set to run at a little bit of a weird resolution. It was set to run at 4096 by 2160, which is more than 4K resolution. That over there is 4K resolution. So this is like a little bit of a wider 4K resolution. I believe this is 16 by 9 and this is like 21 by 9 or something like that. So anyway, it was set to run at this resolution instead of this resolution, which is my desktop resolution. It really should be set to run at your desktop resolution by default, which, yeah, it wasn't set to run at desktop resolution by default. And then the frame rate was also no limit, which it shouldn't be. It should always be limited to either 30 or 60, and then the player can change it afterwards. It's a little bit strange that the game can't run at anything higher than 60. So you can't set the game to run at 120, 144, 240, or 360. So that would be bad for someone who wants to play the game at 144 or 120 or 240, even though I don't know why you would want to play a economy game like this at those frame rates, but still the developer should allow you to do that, and unfortunately this developer doesn't allow you to do that. Your only option would be to set it to no limit if you want to play it at 144 or anything like that, unfortunately. Or you can use something like Thundermaster, for instance. Thundermaster is a third-party software which you can use to limit games frame rate. So you could then set it to run all games at 144. That's definitely something you can do, but still, it doesn't excuse the fact that the developers don't allow you to do that. Also, full screen is not actually full screen. Full screen is actually borderless full screen. So right now we're running it on this setting, but it's actually borderless full screen. The game doesn't have a full screen option. So that's one issue. The game doesn't have a full screen option at all, like an exclusive full screen option. And then the game also doesn't have borderless windowed mode. It does have windowed mode, but it doesn't have borderless windowed mode. So unfortunately, there are two options missing when it comes to the display options of the game, which obviously in a $35 game, you would expect things, very simple things, such as the ability to limit your frame rate to a specific amount, or the ability to select exclusive full screen, you know, those kinds of things. And unfortunately, this game simply doesn't have those options. So already I can tell you, for $35, the game is asking a lot of money and not delivering many quality of life features, standard quality of life features, which you will actually find in $10 games, which this game unfortunately doesn't even offer. Then it does have DLSS and FSR at least. Those are quality of life features that the game at least does have. We're gonna run the game at native 2K resolution as we always do. I always try to run a game at native 2K resolution whenever possible, because that is the resolution that I record all games at. So, in any way otherwise than that, let's have a look. The game does have dual key bindings, so that's nice. I like it when a game has dual key bindings. That's a nice quality of life feature. You can actually hear my dog in the background barking a little bit. She's actually having a dream, I think, because she's sleeping. That's fine. That's the correct date. Actually, it should be like this. And yeah, that's fine. So not many options, to be honest. Like for instance, if you look at graphics, you don't see shadow quality here at all. So there's no shadow quality. There's visual quality, but like there's no shadow quality, terrain quality, object detail, building detail, environmental detail, weather detail, reflection detail. There's nothing like that. So as far as the customization of the graphical options go, you have no options except this one single option, which, yeah, it's not very good, to be honest. So yeah, the game is pretty bad when it comes to quality of life features, especially for a $35 title. But anyway, let's jump into the campaign. I'm not gonna do the tutorial, to be honest. Like, I've played a lot of games that do economy management and that kind of thing. I really don't think I'm gonna need the tutorial. The game should in any way have a running tutorial, Doesn't matter if you're playing through the campaign or you're playing sandbox. In fact, I think we're gonna play sandbox. I actually prefer to play sandbox when it comes to these types of games, because with these types of games you very often will end up spending 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours on a single map. I remember when playing Anno, this is the old Anno, what was it, 1607, 1604, the very old Anno. That's like from the 90s. I remember playing like 50 hours, 60 hours on a single map. So it's very possible in these types of games to play very large amounts of time on a single map, you know. So this isn't a very nice visualization of the map, to be honest. I would like to see like an actual visualization, you know. So you can see water over there, but like you should be able to see the topography, if I can fucking speak English, the topography of a map, and I'm not seeing topography here. So I think that's not a very good display of the map. You also aren't given any information regarding various resources, so unless literally all of these maps have exactly the same resources, then it's definitely not a good visualization of the map, you know. Like if you play Anno or Cities Skylines or anything like that, most economy management building games will allow you to see like, okay, 20% oil, 20% iron, 20% copper, 20% diamonds, 20% whatever, you know, like you can see what resources the map actually has, and here you're not seeing anything. So that would either mean that literally all of the maps have exactly the same amount of resources, which I highly doubt, or it would mean that the developers simply didn't bother to display those that information to the player. So I guess we will find out which one it is. And this map has a lot of water. I'm not sure if you want to have a lot of water or not. This one has no water. This one has a little bit of water. And this one also has a little bit of water. Let's take this one. New game, Topeka, Kansas. And then here you can get a corporate strategy. But unfortunately, okay, there it tells you increases power and water from regional agreements by 10%. But over here, it doesn't say anything. Increases the capacity of loading facilities. It doesn't actually tell you how much, you know. Like this one tells you 10%. This one doesn't tell you anything. 10%. Collects 1 resource point per day from every central office. Reduces the amount of byproduct produced by farms, mines, doesn't tell you how much. Allows one additional complex expansion facility in each complex. Purchasing land is 10% cheaper. So, like, unfortunately, there's a couple where it doesn't actually tell you what it actually does. Like this one, it says increases the capacity of loading facilities, but doesn't tell you by how much, which is obviously a very important amount. It could be 1%, it could be 10%, it could be 77 trillion percent. The same with this one. Reduces the amount. It could be 1%, it could be 10%, it could be 77 trillion percent. So yeah, unfortunately, they don't do a very good job at all of providing you the information that you need to have. It also has a bug where it says not available in demo. I'm not playing the demo, I'm playing the full game, so this is just a bug, which you would think they would have removed a very simple bug like that from the full game. Let's do this one. And a random seed. Oh, then it changes everything. I thought the random seed would just like change maybe the map or something like that, but apparently not. So you can randomize the character, but you can't actually select the character. Oh wow, and they even allow you to filter by skin tone, which honestly I would have been fine if they didn't even allow you to do that. Filter by body type, is that male or female? Yes, I guess that's male or female. Anyway, I'm not too bothered. Let's just go. Okay, so here they show customize your character. Why does it say customize your character, but then it shows like land, technology, cash, stuff like that? So here, once again, we run into the issue where the developers aren't even bothering telling you how much money you're getting. It could be $1, it could be $10, it could be 77 trillion. Just once again, pure laziness. Yeah, the fact that they don't even tell you once again what is changing based on these different options is just really bad game design. Not even telling the player what is changing and by how much. So anyway, we will just leave it on the normal amount. Welcome to the place to dig potatoes, Topeka, the indigenous name. I don't really care about that. The music is a little bit soft. Okay, so we don't seem to have a tutorial. So it seems they didn't bother adding a tutorial to the sandbox mode, unfortunately. So let's see. So build, I guess we start by building. So where's all of our like actual buildings? There's regional infrastructure. Okay, I guess we need to build one of these. Central office for white collar worker. Okay, I guess what are these lines? Do I need to build inside the lines or outside the lines? Like I'm not sure what the lines are. What do the lines represent? And I don't know where the building is actually gonna be. Can't build. Oh, so you must build it over there, okay. So does this building have a in and a out, it looks like? No, it has two ins. It's just different roads. So what do the different roads mean? Access road. Highway. Okay, so you have different roads for some reason. So I'm not sure what this is actually gonna do. Okay, And then otherwise than that, let's have a look over here. Chemical production, packaging, farming complex, food production complex. Yeah, so this game is not clearly like your standard city builder type games that I'm used to, so unfortunately, because the game doesn't have a tutorial, we are forced to not play the game currently, not to play the sandbox currently, so we're gonna have to restart and then go through the forced standalone tutorial, unfortunately, which I really don't like. I really don't like standalone tutorials because you don't make any progress on standalone tutorials. But what can you do? It's unfortunately a waste of time, but I mean, that's one of those things. We're just gonna have to waste our time, unfortunately.
The last thing we need is somebody looking too closely at this thing. All right, I'll see you around. Hi, I'm Frank Wilson, and I want to turn you into a captain of industry. If you're hungry and you're willing to learn, I can teach you how to build a bulletproof investment portfolio, taking in everything from agriculture to aviation. But before I bestow my wealth of industrial experience upon you, I gotta be sure that you can handle yourself. So, welcome to Spoolsville. It's a little backwater burg where you can come to grips with the basics of business without causing too much damage to your reputation, or mine. So here's your assignment. I want to see if you can figure out how to build the facilities to create VHS tapes. Nothing too taxing. Once you've figured out the lay of the land, so to speak, we can take off the training wheels and start making some real money. You ready? Good. Then I'll see you on the other side.
Okay, the game actually uses like real life whatchamacallits, like the real life videos, almost like Red Alert did. Some of you who are old enough to have played the Red Alert will remember those. They're really awesome, really cheesy, but it's really awesome little videos that play during Red Alert. Okay, where's the tutorial actually? I don't care about movement, I don't care about Q and E. Okay, here we go, this is the tutorial. So, okay, so we go over here, obviously this over here, I already figured that out, and then hydrocarbon extraction complex, that one over there. And then must be placed in the indicated area. This is the indicated area. Why can't I place it here? Seriously, why? In the tutorial it shows the guy goes over there, hydrocarbon, and then places it. Oh, you need to place it in the very middle. Oh, that's fucking stupid. That's really fucking stupid. Okay, then we need to rotate. Okay, and then... Okay, we did that. And then we have to build a road. Okay, and then... Okay, we did that. Okay, change the speed, that's fine, we did that. Oh, it needs to finish constructing, okay. Okay, build a well. Then build an access road. Then go to power. Access road. Okay, contracts negotiation. Okay, so they want me to just basically wait until that contract comes to fruition. Okay, blah blah blah. Create new delivery from the deliveries manager. So from where to where? From the hydrocarbon extraction to the headquarters. Five. Production manual. Okay, build another oil well, which is that one over there, so we go over here. I like the music. I like the song in particular. When these games have good music, then it just makes it so much better to play. Because so many of these games have bad music. It's not fun to play when there's bad music playing. Such as this. This is bad music. Okay, well, I basically understand the whole situation now. Like, basically you have to set up a complex, such as the one that we set up over here. It's a little bit stupid in my opinion that a complex has to be in one square. So you basically, when you set something down, like let's say you want to make a housewares complex like this, you can only build the things in that square. Like it's really limiting. And then if you want to make another one, then you have to make another one at another location. And also they will overlap. So you can see there's a yellow warning on the thing saying that it will overlap. So that will reduce the amount of space that you have, you know, the amount of buildings that you can get out of a single complex. And then I just think it's more limiting. It's unnecessary to make it so that you have to build in a square like that. You know, why did the developers place such an arbitrary limitation on the game? It's honestly a strange limitation that I don't think I've seen in other games. And then, like, there's a loading and storage section. So loading and storage, power and water that you need to provide to every complex. So every complex needs to have power and water directly from the power lines and the water lines. So if I want to put this one over here now, then I need to look where is the nearest power and water. And I actually don't see any power and water, so I'm probably gonna have to bring the power and water from over here all the way down over here, which is a little bit irritating. And then in order to build more, okay, so that's storage and transport. And then if you want to build more oil wells, obviously you can do that. And this one is just exporting oil. So all that this one does is oil, the hydrocarbon extraction. And then from the oil you can make other stuff. So if you go over here, for instance, to the plastics, it says there at the top, 10 crude oil becomes 4 plastics. And then I'm assuming the plastics will sell for significantly more than the oil does. But then it also will generate liquid byproducts, it says. And then obviously it shows you the electricity consumption and the water consumption, all of that kind of stuff as well. I don't know, I really am not feeling this game. Like, honestly, it's really arbitrary to have a limitation such as that, you know, where you're literally put into a box on what you can build. And some buildings are limited to a single building, and then other buildings you can build multiple of, such as the extractors. And I just think, like, it's really limiting. Like, why did the developers choose that limitation? I honestly can't think of another economy management game that has this limitation, where you're literally forced into a box and you can only build inside that box with the specific buildings, with that specific industry. And then they also have 2 different road types, which is just more limiting. I like the fact that in a game like Anno or Cities Skylines, something like that, your industrial cars, your industrial transport, has to share the road with regular civilians, because that means you have to balance your roads. You have to actually work on your infrastructure of the roads. You know, if you think about a game like City Skylines, which, by the way, I only like City Skylines 1. I would not recommend that you play City Skylines 2 in the slightest, because it's a significantly worse game. But in City Skylines 1, you have to do that. You have to balance your roadways and your transport system and stuff like that. I just think this system where you have all of your industrial transport on one type of the road, and they're in their own little closed ecosystem. And then you have your civilians or whatever. I mean, you don't even technically have civilians. They are on their own other road. You know, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as good as a game like Cities Skylines. And Cities Skylines isn't just a population, you know. You also have farming in that game. You also have industries in the game. You can get a significant amount of economy and money from only having buildings, you know. But you can actually also obviously generate a lot of money and funds through the industries. By the way, another game that I actually like more than City Skylines. I know that I'm bringing up City Skylines a lot, but another game that I actually like more than City Skylines. Let me see if I can bring it up here quickly, just to show you guys. Where was it? Just 1 second. Oh, did I close my Steam? Of course I did. Just open up my Steam quickly. So, another game that I actually like more than City Skylines is High-Rise City. I haven't played High-Rise City in quite a while, but I actually really like High-Rise City. I like it more than City Skylines. So, if you're looking for a game which, in my opinion, is actually better than City Skylines, then High-Rise City is actually a very good game. It's better than City Skylines 1 and obviously better than City Skylines 2, since City Skylines 2 is worse than City Skylines 1. And it's also cheaper. It's actually also cheaper than City Skylines. But yeah, a game like this, honestly, much more like tickles that itch or scratches that itch that I personally look for in economy management games, you know, like these types of games. I mean, you can do a colony sim, even though I wouldn't really consider these types of games colony sims. It's something more. Oh, Captain of Industry is another game that I want to check out eventually. Another game is Anno, obviously. I've mentioned Anno a couple of times. The last one that I played is Anno 1800. And yeah, even Anno, even though Anno is much more about moving between different cities and different islands. It's not like City Skylines or High-Rise City or even this game where you have one single city, one single landmass, you know. Anno is much more about trading, doing trade on ships and moving around between different islands. But still, Anno is a good game. I wouldn't give money to Ubisoft. I've played the game significantly, but I pirated it. Anno, or at least Ubisoft, is one of the few companies on Earth that I simply refuse to give a single cent to. So I would just recommend you pirate the game. It's a good game. Anno 1800 is a good game, but don't give your money to Ubisoft. They don't deserve it. Like, I spend a lot of money on games. You can see I have a lot of games, but there are certain developers that I simply refuse to support. I go out of my way to pirate some games from certain developers, such as Ubisoft or Blizzard or Nintendo or Square Enix, you know, those types of games, or those types of game developers. But anyway, honestly, yeah, like this game Yeah, for $35, you can get a lot of fantastic city builders, economy management type games for $35. You know, High Rise City is less than that. I think maybe even City Skylines is less than that, even though City Skylines 1 has a lot of DLCs, even though I wouldn't support that. I would just buy the base game of City Skylines 1, and then after that you can just use Cream API to unlock all of the DLCs. That's what I do. If you don't know what I mean, just Google Cream API. But in any way, honestly, I don't really get the concept of this game. I really like these types of games. I really like Anno. I really like High Rise City, or High Rise. Yes, High Rise Cities. I really like City Skylines. I really like Banished. You know, some colonism type games that aren't exactly like these, that are economy management games, but still colonism games such as Banished, where you manage an economy more or less the same as this, except it's a little bit different. I really like these types of games. But this game, I'm just not seeing how these developers are doing anything good. You know, they've regressed some of the core things which I enjoy about these types of games, you know. And they're charging $35, which I think is just not anywhere close to being realistic for a game of this quality. Like, honestly, I wouldn't pay $20 for this game, quite honestly. So, $35 is completely insane for a game like this, you know. The graphics are very basic. The music is very basic. There's one song that I like so far. I don't like any of the other songs. The fact that you have so little quality of life features, the music is actually really irritating me now. Like I said, you can't change to full screen. There's no full screen mode. There's no borderless windowed mode. You can't set the FPS to 120 or 144 or 240 or 360. You can't change the shadow quality, draw distance, environmental detail, water quality, reflection quality, weather quality, object detail. Like, nothing like that is changeable. I like the fact that there's dual key bindings, but yeah, honestly, when it comes to $35, I really expect more from a game that is $35. Why can't I save? Why does the game not allow me to save right now? That's weird. Why would you limit when the player is able to save or not? So, I also think it's not good that they don't have a tutorial in the sandbox mode. The game should have a tutorial in sandbox mode. The visualization of the map that you're going to play on is absolutely fucking terrible. It doesn't show topography properly. It also doesn't give you an accurate representation of the amount of resources. It's impossible that all of the maps have exactly the same amount of resources. it's literally impossible because they probably aren't even the same size, to be honest. And when you go over here, you can actually change the amount of deposits and stuff like that as well. And yet it doesn't show you like, it doesn't show you 50% more or 50% less or nothing like that. When you go to cash, it doesn't show you $10,000 more, $20,000 less, nothing like that. Like the amount of information that the player is provided is absolutely fucking abysmal, honestly. And then, like I said, asking $35 and having such a worse game than the competition, it's just honestly inexcusable. You can't charge more than the competition and then have a worse product, you know. Like I said, High Rise City is $30, so it's cheaper than this game, you know. It's $5 cheaper. Even City Skylines is $30, even though City Skylines has a disgusting amount of DLCs, which I don't encourage that practice, you know. I think they have like over $300 of DLCs in City Skylines, you know. So I would honestly just purchase the base game and then unlock all $300 of the DLCs with Cream API. That's what I personally do with City Skylines. That's what I do with Sims 4 as well. Just buy the base game and then unlock all of the DLCs with Cream API. It's very, very easy. But yeah, like I said, High Rise City is $30 and it is significantly better than even City Skylines is, which means it is significantly better than High Rise Industry. Or the Rise of Industry, whatever. I've got High Rise City on the fucking brain because I really need to play that game again. I actually, from playing this game, have been reminded that I haven't played High Rise City in a while. So I should probably check back with High Rise City and see what they've changed in the 8 months since I last played the game, because it's actually a very good game. So yeah, honestly, I can't recommend this game. It doesn't scratch the itch of all of the other economy management type games that I've played and that I enjoy. And in fact, it has regressed in certain aspects, and it just doesn't warrant the price tag of $35 in my opinion. I wouldn't pay $20 for this game. So in my opinion, $35 for this game is quite insane. Yeah, the developers really need to do a lot of things to this game in order to get it to the point where I would even pay $20 for the game, you know? Like they need to add a tutorial to the sandbox mode, they need to add actual information to the map creator of the sandbox mode. When you select the map, it should actually give you information. Yeah, that would be a good start. I might pay $20 for the game if those things were implemented. And then obviously, like I said, the fact that you can't even select 120 FPS, 144 FPS, 240 or 360, that's also bad, you know. So yeah, honestly, I can't recommend the game. All that this game makes me want to do, honestly, is it makes me want to play a better game. You know, it makes me want to play High Rise Cities, or it makes me want to play Skyline Cities, or just some other game that is better than this game, honestly. Even Anno 1800, I haven't played a huge amount of Anno 1800. I actually need to play that again. So yeah, can't recommend the game in the slightest. I'll maybe check the game out in the future again, maybe if the developers decide to release some free updates or maybe even a DLC or something like that. I might check back with the game, but honestly right now it's definitely not a game that I can recommend over the competition. And especially at $35, there's no way how I can recommend this game at $35. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. As always, if you want to see more reviews, you can support me on patreon.com/LFP. It allows me to purchase more games and do more reviews for you guys. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.